Create. Let me be real with you. Nobody's coming to push you. Nobody's going to wake you up and drag you out of bed and say, "Hey, down, create. Let's focus on your dreams today." That's on you. And you know what? That's the best news you'll hear today. Create. Because the second you stop waiting for permission, the moment you stop watching everyone else's timeline, and the day you decide to focus on you, that's the moment your entire life starts to change. You're not behind. You're not late. You're just distracted. So today, I'm telling you, lock in, block out the noise. Look in the mirror. That's the person who's going to get you there. Focus on you until you win. You are the project. That's it. Create. That's the truth nobody tells you because we've all been conditioned to believe that success is about everything outside of us. What people think, create. How we look on social media, whether we fit into someone else's definition of making it. But here's what they don't tell you. Create. The only person who's going to change your life is you. Not your boss. Not your partner. Not your friends. It starts and ends with you. Create. And until you make yourself the most important project in your life, you will keep spinning in circles, chasing validation, chasing distractions. Create. Chasing everyone else's idea of what your life should be. You know what happens when you finally decide to focus on yourself. You stop apologizing for needing time. You stop trying to explain your boundaries. Create. You stop bending over backward to fit into spaces that were never built for you in the first place. You start asking better questions. What do I need? What lights me up? What do I want to create with my time here? That shift right there, that's the beginning of winning. Because when you're dialed in on you, the noise fades. The guilt fades. The pressure fades. You stop living on autopilot and start leading your life with intention. But don't get it twisted. This isn't selfish. This is survival. When you finally make yourself the center of your effort, things start falling into place. Not because the world changes, but because you change. Create. Your standards rise. Your energy becomes more protected. Your vision gets clearer. And suddenly, the stuff you used to tolerate, the drama, the doubt, the distract, the distractions, just doesn't stick anymore. Why? Because you've got something bigger to focus on. Your growth. Create. And let me tell you something about growth. It's not glamorous. It's not the highlight reel. Create. Growth is you saying no to things that used to thrill you. It's sitting in discomfort while you unlearn everything that kept you stuck. It's showing up day after day, even when you feel like nothing's working. But if you stay focused, if you keep coming back to you, that progress compounds. Create. That momentum builds. You get sharper, stronger, more disciplined. And before long, the person you're becoming becomes impossible to ignore. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing yourself. In fact, people might not understand. They might get uncomfortable. That's okay. Create. Your journey isn't about making others comfortable. It's about you getting free. And that kind of freedom comes with accosting solitude, consistency, and sometimes feeling misunderstood. But the return, oh, it's every clarity, peace, power. So, create. If you're tired of starting over, stop quitting on yourself. If you're tired of feeling behind, stop comparing. Put the phone down. Unfollow the noise. Take a walk. Meditate. Work out. Read something that challenges you. Do the boring, quiet things no one applauds. Because those are the things that transform you. This is your life. You're not a side character in someone else's story. Create. You are the main character, the writer, the director, and the editor. Start acting like it. Refuse to give your energy to things that don't build you. Refuse to spend another year waiting. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for permission. Waiting to feel ready. No one's coming to do it for you. And that's the truth. And that truth is powerful because it means it's all in your hands. So focus on you. Not just today. Not just this week. Until you win. Create. Until you become the version of you that you've been dreaming of. And when you do, you won't need to tell the world. Create. Your results will speak louder than anything you could ever post. Comparison is the thief of everything. It doesn't just steal your joy. It steals your focus, your confidence, your time, your peace. Create. Every moment you spend looking at someone else's life is a moment you're not building your own. And here's the hard true thing. Shut down. Create. Most of the people you're comparing yourself to aren't even showing you the real story. Create. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and then wondering why you feel like you're falling behind. You're not behind, you're just distracted. And every time you open that app, scroll through those photos, and feed that cycle of self-doubt, you lose another minute you could have spent building yourself. So what do? You control the controllables. You can't change how fast someone else is moving. You can't control what opportunities show up for other people. But you can control how you show up. You can control how consistent you are. You can control how much energy you give to your goals versus how much you give to your fears. And that's what it comes down to. Discipline. Not motivation. Discipline. Because motivation is fleeting. It fades when things get hard. But discipline. That's what shows up even when you don't feel like it. That's what keeps you going when no one's clapping for you. When no one's watching. When progress feels invisible. You have to decide. Do you want to look successful, or be successful? Because being successful requires you to trade comfort for consistency. It requires you to stay in your lane, to trust your pace, to stop trying to shortcut the process. Everyone wants the results, but few are willing to live in the process long enough to earn them. That's where you separate yourself. Not in what you do once, but in what you do over and over, without applause, without attention. And listen, No one is saying it's easy. You will feel tempted to give up. You will feel like what you're doing isn't working. You will question yourself, sometimes daily. But that's where the work is. That's where most people stop, and it's where you keep going. You don't need to sprint. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay focused, stay grounded, and keep showing up for yourself. And when those thoughts creep in, the doubts, the comparisons, the why not mints, you remind yourself, I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm doing this for me. You're not chasing likes. You're not chasing approval. You're building a life. You're building habits. You're building a version of yourself that doesn't crumble when things get quiet or uncomfortable. That's power. That's growth. That's how you win. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the days when no one sees you. In the moments you choose discipline over distraction. In the early mornings, the late nights, the decisions to push forward when quitting would be easier. That's how you build something that lasts. That's how you become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You can't fast track this. You can't outsource it. You can't fake it. You either put in the reps or you don't. You either stay focused or you get lost in the noise. So protect your mind, or protect your routine. Protect your peace like it's your future, because it is. And when you do that long enough, something amazing happens. You stop looking around. You stop wondering if you're doing enough, or if you're too late. You just know. Because your focus becomes a shield. Your effort becomes your anchor. And the noise, it stops mattering. The world is loud, it's constant. Notifications, opinions, expectations. Everyone has something to say about who you should be, how you should live, what success should look like. And if you don't learn to silence the noise, you'll lose yourself in it. You'll spend your days living for other people, trying to meet standards you didn't create, chasing goals that don't even belong to you. That's why it is absolutely essential that you learn to tune it all out and focus inward. Because no one knows what you need better than you. But you'll never hear that inner voice until you make space for it. Distractions are everywhere. You pick up your phone to check one message and suddenly 30 minutes are gone. You start your day with someone else's feed in your face, and wonder why your own goals feel less exciting. The problem isn't that you're not capable. The problem is your focus is fractured. You're plugged into everything and everyone but yourself. And if that doesn't change, you'll keep going in circles, wondering why your momentum keeps fading. It's not that you don't have what it takes. It's that you're giving your energy to everything except your own growth. You have to protect your mental space, like your life depends on it. Because it does. You can't build something meaningful in the middle of chaos. You need clarity. You need stillness. You need routines that ground you, not habits that drain you. That means saying no more often. That means logging off when you'd rather scroll. That means prioritizing your peace over people pleasing. You won't always get it right. Create. But the more you practice tuning out the noise, the more powerful you become. Because now, you're no longer reacting to life. You're leading it. Create. And here's the part no one tells you: people might not like the new boundaries. When you stop being available for every call, every hangout, every opinion, people notice. Some will support you. Others won't. That's okay. You're not here to make everyone comfortable. You're here to grow. And growth is uncomfortable. For you and for the people who are used to the version of you that stayed small. You're not that version anymore. Create. You're evolving. And that evolution requires space. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength. It's choosing not to respond to every critic. Shut down. Create. It's walking away from drama instead of getting pulled into it. It's keeping your goals to yourself while you work quietly behind the scenes. Create. You don't have to prove anything. Your results will do the talking. And when they do, create. The same people who questioned your silence will wonder how you pulled it off. You're allowed to pull back. You're allowed to disappear for a while. You're allowed to go all in on you. And when you do, you start to hear that voice again. The one inside you that says, create, keep going. The one that remembers what you're here to do is to shut down, create. The one that doesn't care how noisy the world gets because it knows exactly where it's going. That voice is your compass. But you can't hear it through the clutter. So take a step back. Take a breath. Get quiet. And ask yourself what actually matters to you. Not what looks good. Not what impresses others. What feels aligned. Then move from that place. Every day. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Create. Because that's when real change happens. In the quiet moments when you choose yourself over the chaos. Focus isn't just about discipline. Create. It's about direction. And your direction gets clearer the moment you stop letting the world drown out your voice. So turn down the volume. Create. And tune into what's real. Everything you're chasing is already within you. You just need to listen. Create. The moment you stop waiting for approval is the moment you start moving. It's the turning point. Create. Most people don't fail because they're not good enough. They fail because they never really begin. They're waiting. Waiting to feel ready. Create. Waiting for someone to say, yes, you can. Waiting for validation that might never come. But here's the truth: no one is going to hand you confidence. Create. No one is going to knock on your door and tell you're worthy. You have to decide that for yourself. You have to look in the mirror and say, I've got me. Even when you don't have all the answers. You can't outsource belief. You can't borrow someone else's certainty. Confidence is built, not gifted. And it's built through action. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself. Whether it's getting up early, doing the workout, saying no to something that doesn't serve you, you build self-trust. And that trust becomes your foundation. Not likes. Not followers. Not applause. Trust. Because when you trust yourself, you stop chasing validation. You start leading. Think about this. Create. How many times have you abandoned something important to you because someone didn't understand it? How many times have you held back your potential just to stay safe, to avoid judgment, to be accepted? And where did that get you? It got you stuck. It got you frustrated. It kept you playing small while your dreams got dusty. That's not living. That's surviving. Create. And you were made for more than just surviving. You were made to show up boldly. You were made to take up space. But that only happens when you start choosing your voice over everyone else's. And yes, people will have opinions. They'll question your moves. Create. They'll criticize your pace. But here's the thing. Those people aren't living your life. They're not waking up in your skin. Create. They're not the ones with your vision, your calling, your drive. You are. So why are you giving them so much power? You've got to reclaim that power, not by yelling louder, not by explaining yourself, but by showing up, day after day, for you. Make a decision. Your self-respect means more than someone else's approval. Your goals mean more than temporary comfort. That's how you start to win. Quietly, consistently, authentically. You don't need to broadcast your moves. You just need to make them. Let people talk. Let them wonder. You'll be too busy building. Create. It's easy to seek validation when you're uncertain. But here's the mindset shift: validation doesn't come first. Momentum does. The more you move, create, the more you build, The more you build, the more confident you become. It's not magic, it's repetition. And the more you repeat those wins, those little steps forward, the less you care about what anyone else thinks. Because now you've got something deeper: proof, create, and proof that you can rely on yourself, proof that you follow through, proof that you're no longer the person who breaks promises to yourself. Create, and that's what this is about. Becoming the kind of person you respect, the kind of person you'd bet on. You can fake confidence for the world. Create, but you can't fake it with yourself. If you keep cutting corners, if you keep breaking your own word, you feel it. Deep down, you know. Create. But when you stay locked in on your mission, when you commit to your process regardless of the outside noise, something shifts. That inner voice grows stronger. Create, louder, more certain. So for the audience, forget the applause, forget the need to be understood. Create. Focus on becoming the version of you that doesn't need permission, the version of you that doesn't wait to be chosen. Because you've already chosen yourself. Create. There's something powerful about winning in private, something sacred about putting your head down, doing the work. Create, and letting the results speak for themselves. We live in a time where everyone feels pressured to share every step of their journey, to broadcast progress before it's even real. But the truth is, the most meaningful transformations happen away from the spotlight. They happen in silence, in solitude, in those gritty, unfiltered moments when nobody's watching. And that's exactly where you find your strength. Not in the performance, but in the process. Focus on the work, not the recognition. The validation will come eventually, the success will come, inevitably. Create. But only if you stay disciplined when no one's clapping, when no one's noticing, when no one's cheering you on. Create, because that's where 99% of people fall off. They stop when it gets quiet. They panic when the results don't come fast enough. Create. They quit because nobody saw them trying. But you've got to be different. You've got to be the one who keeps going, not because anyone is watching, but because you promised yourself you would. Private victories build unshakable confidence. Create. When you know you've done the work, when you've seen yourself show up again and again, despite doubt, fatigue, and fear. There's nothing anyone can take from you. That kind of power doesn't need an announcement. It doesn't need approval. Create. It doesn't even need acknowledgement. It just is. You walk different when your wins are earned in silence. Create. You carry yourself differently when your identity is built on consistent, quiet effort rather than loud, temporary applause. Create. And here's what happens when you commit to this path: you begin to change from the inside out. Your energy shifts. Your mindset strengthens. Create. Your standards rise. You become someone who doesn't just talk about goals. You execute. You become someone who doesn't just dream. You deliver. Create. And people will notice eventually, but by then, it won't even matter to you. Create. Because your satisfaction won't come from the outside. It'll come from knowing exactly who you are and what you're capable of. Create. You'll stop needing to prove yourself when you start respecting yourself. You'll stop needing validation when you start stacking wins no one sees. That's the secret. The more you honor your process, the less you need to explain it. The more you trust your path, the less you need people to understand it. Create. Let them think you disappeared. Let them wonder what happened. Let them assume you gave up. Because when you show up later, stronger, wiser, create, and undeniable, that's the moment they'll understand. And by then, you won't need their recognition, because you'll already have your results. So be okay with being unseen. Be okay with taking the long road. Be okay with working in the dark. The spotlight can wait. The accolades can wait. What matters now is that you show up for yourself every single day. Build in silence. Grind in silence. Heal in silence. Grow in silence. And when the time is right, let your life do the talking. Let your peace, your discipline, your elevation speak so loudly that words aren't even necessary. This is the season to be focused, not flashy. This is the time to be hungry, not hurried. You don't owe the world updates. You owe yourself results. Create. And those results, they come from the days you show up when no one's clapping. The mornings you get up when no one's watching. Create. The effort you give when no one's cheering. That's where winners are made. Not in front of the world, but far behind the curtain.